beer, no rubber chickens. Good day, people. Glad you could be here. We're getting ready to begin my fourth and final show this day. Before I get started, I have a question for you all who have gathered here at this moment. Are you folks the screaming throng of enthusiastic fans that was promised to me by my agent? Yes. I thought so. Please tell him he's fired. There's a few more people coming. Until they get here, would you all that showed up early enjoy seeing some things I've been working on?
Yeah.
Do you care if they work?
No.
Well, underachievers unite. Where were you when I needed you in high school? We could have banded together and explained the way the report cards now. Because you guys got here early, I'm going to show you all some warm-up tricks. Here's the thing about the warm-up tricks, people. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't. So if by chance it happens to work, I want to hear what you feel about it, and then we shall know whether or not to put it in the show for real. Here comes the first one. But wait! There's more! That was nothing. You should see how I put on my pants. I gotta tell you about my favorite moment from all last year's tour. Happened on the very first show of the season. I'm pressing to the handstand. I gotta concentrate on what I'm doing. There's a 5-year-old boy in the front row. He said really loud to his mother. The entire crowd heard him. He goes, "But mommy, mommy, he's an old man." And I'm like, old guys rock. We just rock slower. And often in chairs. Let's try this one. Mixed reviews. We'll try this one. We'll try this one. What do you people want from me? I'm an old man. We'll try this one. This one is very popular. It starts down there on the foot, and it goes right up to the head. It's very popular. I'll never understand why. No, people, I must do that one correctly, or they will send me to juggle a hell. It's not pretty. His kid shows in Arkansas. I've been there, done that. Have the emotional scars. In fact, people, I'm starting a support group for a group of guys that really need it. They are forgotten heroes. They are recovering birthday party clowns. Come out from behind the couch, Bobo. The 7-year-olds can't hurt you anymore. Bobo's never been the same since they strangled him with his own balloon animal. He can't even look at a poodle. From the foot to the head. No hands. How can they afford it? Do you people want to see one I cannot do? Yes. No problem. I got 1 million of them. Can't do that one. Hang on, I gotta get that right. I actually practice this one every now and then. And it doesn't seem to make any difference. Up the back, effortlessly under the... Effortlessly! Under the... Oh, now you're just teasing me. Rolling up the back, under the knockback. Right now, people, I'm feeling confidence I don't even deserve it. Let's go out on a limb. I'm going to attempt to show you all the trick that I would end each and every performance with back in the days when I was both young and stupid. I'm pleased to announce I'm still stupid. Now at the beginning of the show, what we're trying to do is to get other people interested in what's happening over here. I have been experimenting with some fire juggling. Would you guys like to see that? Yeah. Would you like to see it bad enough to massage my fragile male ego with some completely fake and totally unearned applause? Yeah. torch, but I'm gonna feel cheap. I gotta get the torches ready. I'll tell you all a quick story as I am preparing the fire torches. Now, normally if I do anything out here on stage, I've written jokes in advance to describe the situation. Here's what happened the first time I did the fire juggling bit. I worked all winter on the routine. I learned some tricks, I wrote some jokes, I got out here and I start soaking the torches. I suddenly realized to my shock and horror, I had forgotten to write jokes to cover the time right here. So in desperation, I asked the audience to sing a song of impending disaster. I was sure they would sing a funeral march, but a man stood up and clearly sang, "Here Comes the Bride." It was way better than anything I could have written myself. Now, I've noticed there are a few children here. Children will often try to copy things they see at the festival. Kids, let's get this out of the way at the beginning. Fire juggling is not a good idea. He's right up there with saying the words, "Yes, honey, that dress does make you look fat." Now, I understand that people get very excited by the whole fire juggling thing. Frankly, people, I find that to be a wee bit confusing because honestly, if you get into fire juggling, there really is only one rule you must remember, and that is never, ever, under any circumstances, catch this end. Even for a shock laugh, don't do it. Now, I know a few of you are probably worried that hurts me, but honestly, once the nerves in your hands die, you're cold. My favorite moment with that joke, I grab the wrong end of the torch, a little boy shouts out, "Hey, that's fake fire!" And I'm like, "No way, the fire is real, I'm fictional." All right, some fire juggling on the fourth show of the day with a variable crosswind, which turns into a headwind, which makes me think, boy, I would look really good without eyebrows. Boundless optimism and a mild hangover. What could go wrong? The stars are in alignment. Let's give it a go. Woo! I'm impressed too. Hey people, I just thought of something. Do you think it would be wrong to go into a theater full of intellectuals and then shout out, "Rapid oxidation"? Some jokes you only do in college towns. Now what you're looking at right here, people, are single turns. In your wildest imagination, can you think of anything more exciting than single turns?
Five turns.
Suppress your imagination. And the guy that said half turns, I will see you in hell. Double turns would look like this. These are triple turns. This is, I have no bloody idea. I gotta tell you guys, I love doing the high throws because it freaks out the squirrels. Let's try some fancy things. Fancy thing number one is a twiddle. That's a technical term. Followed by a twiddle with Otis. And a very serious question. Does this make me look too Catholic? I call it the flaming genuflect of perpetual guilt. Now, I'm working on a new pattern, but we gotta get into it slowly. We're almost there. I love this one because it looks cool when the medication kicks in. Now, you people may not know this, but every pattern has a name. They all have names. This one is Stanley. This one is stupid. I call this one Leona. I will admit this is more impressive when they're burning. This would help. The formerly flaming torches of doom. Oh, the memory of fear. All right, people. This is my fourth show today, and I have been at this festival for quite a few years now. I need to know something from my own records. How many people here right now are in fact seeing me for the first time? First time? Wonderful. How many people seeing me for the last time? How many of you absolutely categorically refuse to raise your hands no matter what the question is? Yeah, I usually get a couple drunks and kids. What I'm going to do to continue is I shall now defy the very laws of death, gravity, and common sense. Not to mention my insurance company and the advice of my mommy. That's a joke, people. I don't have any insurance. That stuff is for pessimists. We'll give this a go. I got it! I got it! I told you I got it. But wait! There's more. I agree, the hell with it. What was I thinking? Now, just out of curiosity, how many of you sick, twisted individuals want to see this thing done? I'm sorry, that's not quite enough. No, I'm going to do it, but I need help. I need someone who is beautiful, someone who is intelligent, someone who is very calm. During an emergency situation, someone whose whole expression says, "Oh, excrement, not me." Relax, I was talking about the big guy. Glad you could be. What's your name, sir? Come along with me, Jeremy. I want you to relax and breathe easy. Be totally at ease. I'll do the trick. All I need you to do is just sit on my shoulders while I'm up there. You'll be a hero. I need you to stand right here. And then quite simply, hang on to this side of the board with 2 hands, and that's all there is to it. Hang on. I need somebody else. This man must be large, muscular, burly, and bravely trying to look small and wimpy. Your name, sir. Could you hold the other side of the board like your own life depended on it? Because it bloody well may if I fall in that direction. I need one last person. This man must be large, muscular, burly, brave. Most of all, he must be reliable. I'm looking for a reliable man. The lady's looking at me going, "Fat chance, clowny boy." This is potentially the one. This could be him. Excuse me, my lady. Would you happen to know this strapping hunk of manhood seated next to you? Has he been reliable? Would you trust him with my life? Yeah, no big deal. Come along, sir. What's your name? Alan, the name's not reliable. Would you mind terribly if I call you Spike? I feel better. Spike, what I need you to do is to stand in front of the table facing this direction. Your job is quite simple, Spike. I need you to raise your arms high above your head. Now in a loud voice so everyone hears you, I need you to scream out 2 words. I believe! He finally said it, but it was like, really? You're going in my notebook. I had a guy sitting there go, "I'm skeptical." Put your hands down. I want to tell you a story about my 3 favorite guys I've had doing this. Every one of these happened. The first one, I'm down in Texas. The guy's like, "I believe you're going to hurt yourself." I called him the Prophet Bubba. Then he called me the Yankee of poor judgment. 2 months later, I was up in Illinois. There was a little Indian man in front of me. He's like, "I am presently now believing." That one was kind of fun. Then I got up here. This happened like a couple of years back. I said, "I need you to scream out 2 words." The guy does not let me finish my sentence. He just goes, "You're screwed!" And I knew I was back in New York. It felt kind of good, actually. Now, there's a 4th one that, as an entertainer, I find to be very amusing. I was doing street shows down in Florida, and all the shows are really close together. 10 feet on this side of me, there's an actual evangelist, and he's doing kind of a show, and I got the guy in front of me going, "I believe," and I turn to the evangelist and go, "I got one! I got one!" And then go back to the evangelist and go, "It's a race." The evangelist didn't think it was funny. Now, gentlemen on this side, we want to keep this thing exactly in the center from side to side. I'm going to move the whole thing this direction a little bit. Hands up in the air there, Spike. Straight up here. Make a fist here and a fist here. That way, if I fall, you punch me right in the head. You see, it helps. It helps if I'm unconscious before I hit the ground. It relaxes the muscles. Right, let's miss the fingers. Good. Miss the fingers. Now then, I need one of you gentlemen on the sides to let go. Doesn't matter, either one. This one fellow let go. Right, let go on the other side. Thank you very much, both of you gentlemen on the sides. Run for your lives. Spike, back up about 2 inches. Soon I am going to let go of your hands. When I let go, I need you to take 2 steps in this direction, right over there, and get ready to catch me. Stop laughing, I need it. All right, 2 steps inside, I'll tell you when, right about. Now. Whoa, baby. You were really gonna catch me? You crazy bastard! Thank you very much. Guys, I gotta tell you, I have been performing that trick now for almost 20 years. Last year, for the first time ever, right here, I fell off of the damn thing. And the guy I was joking around with to catch me really did. And then we hugged. And I'm still getting postcards. All right, people, what's about to happen next? I usually do a kid routine. There's not many kids. What's going to happen next is I'm going to place myself in a truly dangerous situation. And when I get there, one thing will save me. One thing will bail me out. It shall be, of course, my bag of tricks. Therefore, I must hand them to someone tall enough to get them to me. When the time gets here, I see the perfect gentleman sitting right over here. Could you hang on to this? What is your name, sir? Friend, I am going to say, may I have my bag of tricks? That will be your cue. At that point, you stand up. You hold the bag proudly over your head, and then you scream. It's vital that you scream. This is what you scream. You go, I got them! I got them! Oh, dear God! It's overrated. I know I've done experiments. My entire life has been nothing but a long experiment. At the end of it, they're going to give me a little piece of cheese. Now what happens next? You know the maze we got at the top of the hill? Someday I want to stand outside the maze, and every little kid that makes it through, I want to give him some cheese. It's kind of why I'm not in charge. What happens next is quite fascinating. What happens next is, I take this horn, I place it over my shoulder. I then take this ladder, I place that approximately here. I then climb to the top, stop in a delicate balance, and proceed with a pathetic cry for attention. You parents out there, this is what happens if you don't give your children attention when they're young. Look at me now, Mommy, look at me now. I don't care if my sister got straight A's, look at me. Yes, I have issues. I had a great experience a couple of years ago. I'm doing the show and I didn't know my family was here. I did the joke about my sister getting straight A's. I looked down, she's sitting right where you are, and I'm like, I forgive you. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're very close now. There's just one more little step. One more small one. One more little step. One more small one. I'm not stalling. The problem is I've just sobered up and I realize where I am. There's one more little step. One more small one. That would be it. I thank you for the sudden burst of indifference. And now that I'm up here, I just keep getting focused. There's a man in the second row wearing a mask. And it's kind of cool, but all I can think of is, wow, look at that. It's the Renaissance Witness Protection Program. It's all we can afford. Change your voice. Now that I'm up here, I will take this horn and I will share with you all a burst, nay, an explosion of unbridled joy. Brace yourselves. This is going to be overwhelming. Do you feel better? You all might have heard of the Horn of Plenty. This is called the Horn of Whoopee. It can also be played as the Horn of Extreme Sadness. It can also be played as the Horn of Apathy, but no one seems to care. Thank you, intellectuals. I do one other joke that you have to think about. If you blow to exactly like this, you call all the mimes in the area. I got a great mime story to tell you guys. A couple of years ago, I'm down in Texas. I'm sharing the stage with my friend Michael, who's a mime, funny man. Michael was out on stage doing his show. One of his props broke. he ran backstage to fix it. I'm like, don't you worry, Michael. I will go out there and I will cover for you. So I go there, ladies and gentlemen, please be patient. The mime is backstage learning his lines. He thought it was really funny. Then he greased my ladder. Revenge of the mime! Don't take these guys off. Those leotards are way too tight. They are powder kegs waiting to explode. I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be great if somewhere on the planet there's a police officer that dreams of arresting a mime just so we can say, you have the right to remain silent. All right then. Things are getting desperate. More desperate than you people could possibly know. Yet one thing can save me. May I have my bag of tricks?
I got them. Oh, God, I got them.
Oh, the emotion. Never has so much been done with a single tone of voice. I found the son of Bartles and James. Come down here, hand the bag up to me. Who knew beneath that calm exterior there was such a seething cauldron waiting to explode? Hand the bag up to me. Wonderful work, sir. Checks in the mail. Love you, babe. Love you. That's show business talk. Between actors, you people wouldn't understand. Okay, located in the bag of tricks, we have several items. We have a whole bunch of rings. And we have a plate. And we have a stick. Now then, the spinning plate is from the Ming Dynasty. Kmart collection. It's expensive. The plate is expensive because it's porcelain. Porcelain. I like the joke and I'm going to do it till you people laugh. That's right, give me the illusion of control. I just learned what those words mean. In the last town we had a student day. We invite all the schools out to the festival. One day we had 10,000 seventh graders all together in the same place at the same time. That's the illusion of control. Right down here at the front. Sometimes this works. Very often it doesn't. So if you should see the plate or Uncle Danny suddenly getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it would be an excellent idea to move. Now people, when you do this kind of thing for a living, your life becomes a series of weird events. I'm still laughing over this one. A couple of years back, I'm up on the ladder and I call myself Uncle Danny. Little girl in the front looks and goes, "Are you really my uncle?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom never talks about me." The spinning plate. It's spinning, that's a good sign. No! Hold your applause. Now, honestly, people, I want you all to wait till I do something you don't see every day. If I see one more man balanced on a ladder spinning a plate, I will just vomit. So done, it's so 15th century. Now you're only clapping because I gotta shut up. There's more to it. What's making me laugh the most is little girl in the fifth row looking at me with this expression, "I just can't believe you're an adult." You're one of the people that can tell me to be careful on the swings. There is something inherently wrong with the system. Try this again. Here we go. Not yet! Not yet! Definitely not yet! Now, a lot of people really believe that the key to a successful performance is rehearsal. Not me. Down a couple beers up the ladder I go. People, I joke about it, but I don't really do it anymore. I had the funnest experience last winter. I was playing tennis with this old friend of mine who's 75, and we're sweating really hard. And on the changeover, I asked him, "Is it a bad sign if your sweat smells like beer?" And he stopped and he thought for a moment. He goes, "Only if you've been drinking scotch." I laughed the whole damn day. Not yet! Not yet! Just talk among yourselves. All right! hear the weird part. In the middle of that trick, I was thinking about something else. I'll tell you what I was thinking about. I don't know if you can all see it from where you're sitting, but right over here on this side of me in the blue borders, there's a huge knot. Well, a couple of years ago, I was in the middle of that trick and I almost had the last set of rings going. At that moment, I found the knot. And at that moment, I found religion. I have a name for the knot. I call it the knot of sudden need to do laundry. And now, to get rid of these items, I shall cross the stage with the breakneck speed of a charging postal worker. Out of my way, I'm on salary. My favorite moment with that joke, this man stands up and says, I am a postal worker, you're going way too fast. We are going to have a union problem. These rings go in there. Wow! They never all go in there. Honestly, people, it's freaking me out. I do not have a damn thing to say. I am not prepared to succeed. The stick goes in there, and the lovely porcelain plate. What the hell? I'm feeling lucky. It is now time for me to get down. I could either get down the fast way, or I could get down the slow way. What would you all like to see?
Slow way.
I heard a vote for slow. And it wasn't one of my imaginary friends. I gotta tell you people, the saddest day of my life was when my imaginary friends called a meeting and said they think of me as more of an acquaintance. So we're gonna do this democratically then. By applause, how many people for the slow way? More than usual. How many of you would rather see the fast way? Well, I hate it when it's defined because then I gotta hover. I will get down the fast way, but before I get down, I want to share something with you guys. I sat down and I figured it out the other day. I've been doing shows now for over 30 years. And Mom still thinks it's a phase. Now, I've noticed something. I no longer have the lightning fast reaction time I did as a teenager. It's just part of getting older, and I'm dealing with it as best I can. So when I'm balanced on a ladder, I have to concentrate on my technique. And I want to tell you guys what I'm thinking about right now. I must remember two things. I must remember to breathe, and I must keep my nipples above my knees. It's about oxygen and nipple placement. Things they never teach you in clown school, you must learn on your own. Now, the fast way is known as the fireman's dismount, and it looks something like oxygen, nipples, all systems go. Something like this. Ding, 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 ding. People! This is my last show of the day. This is the last thing that stands between me and a beer. I'm feeling a special chemistry with this audience. I will do something for you folks I'm sure you've never seen before and will never see again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I will now swallow the ladder. You're all waiting for me to do it, aren't you? I hope you're not too disappointed. That's as far as I take it without catching. Maybe you're wondering how I got the handy little dent. I'll tell you a true story about the dent in my chin. I'm doing my show in Quebec. I'm working in French. I am not fluent by any means, but I'm getting by. There's a 6-year-old girl in the front row. She's heckling me. I didn't quite understand her. Finally, her parents translate for her. She thinks your face looks like a butt. I thought it was adorable. And then I introduced her to the English game of the nookie. All right, people, I'm almost out of time. The show can end in one of two directions. Would you all rather see the weird stuff or the impressive stuff?
Impressive.
We'll begin with weird. we'll move to impressive, and we will finish with completely misguided. If you want to see the weird stuff, that means it's time to bring to the stage my newest partner and a dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I proudly give to you Armando, the world's ugliest baby. But you must admit, impeccable fashion sense. He is here to show you some acrobatics. And once again, I am seeing young and impressionable children here. Kids, I honestly do not want you to go home and try this with your little brother. Dangerous. In the beginning, you practice with the neighbor's kids till you feel secure. We'll make this more interesting by reversing the polarities. He has a rare disease, we'll discuss it later. It's called spike bite. I had so much fun in the last time we had Deaf Awareness Day. Everyone on stage had a sign language interpreter. I gotta tell you, I love the sign for spike bite. I can't do it for you, I'm not flexible enough. Reversing the polarities. Him. Him. What, did his eyes get bigger? Wait, it gets better. It gets better. Now, it gets worse. Now it gets right up there next to impossible. If this one works, we're calling it the impressive stuff. If it doesn't work, we're calling it the tragic stuff. Oh dear. Oh my. Oh well. Hey little girl. Can I be your babysitter? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Daniel, what a catastrophe. Daniel, what a disaster. Not so. Not so at all, because we have the technology. We can rebuild him. He'll be bigger. He'll be stronger. His arms will be attached down by his butt, but that doesn't bother us. Every time I get to this point in the show, I like to stop and turn back and look there and reminisce. Remember just how drunk I was when I thought of that. And what Armando and I will do for you all to finish off this fourth and final show of the day, we shall perform something which is completely macho. It is totally mindless. It is, in fact, my favorite trick in the entire show. That's right, Daniel. Check your brain at the door and do one last trick for a monkey boy. It's your raison d'etre. That's French for I do the show because I'm in debt. This is where I like to stop the show and thank you all for coming by. Because people, if you weren't here, none of this would have been necessary. Wait a minute. I'd already be up at the pub. Now I'm starting to resent you. No, seriously, thanks for coming by, folks. I want to leave you guys with one final. Terrorists, take cover! Stay away from the clowns. They hate the clowns. I hear that every day. That was the sound of a very dear friend of mine getting shot in the crotch. It's my friend Miguel. Every year, every time at this day, they shoot him right in the crotch. It's kind of funny. I was sharing this. It's a blank. He's got a balloon between his legs. And, his partner shoots him with a blank. And one time he put too much wadding in there. And I'm sharing the stage with him, and Don Miguel comes running backstage, rips his trousers down, points to his thighs, and goes, "Look what he did to me! Look what he did to me!" It was pretty weird. All right, I guess I'll tell you this story now. This has nothing to do with you folks, but in other parts of the country, we come to the end of the show, we pass our hats, that's how we're paid. Here we're paid very well, but here's what happened to me in Ohio. I was buying groceries with $1 bills. The lady at the checkout was getting mad at me. I stopped in the middle of counting. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "I'm an exotic dancer and I'm good." What made it perfect was she didn't skip a beat. She looks right back at me and says, "If you were any good, you'd have fives." Now, honestly, people, when this happened, I was pretty angry. Then I got to thinking, that's going in the show. And I put it in the show, and it got a really good laugh, and then I got sad and depressed because I was thinking, wait a minute, I've been writing jokes for 30 years, and she's funnier than I am. All right, let's get this thing done. Well, people, this is interesting. I can actually feel you all staring at my bald spot. I want you to know I'm sensitive about the bald spot. It's traumatic to be losing your hair at the tender young age of 23 in dog years. However, something happened a couple of years ago that made it much easier. A beautiful young woman came up to me and she says, I want you to say one word to the audience and see how many people get it. Here comes the word. Inconceivable. Yep. I'm that actor. This is my lunch break. No, people, I am not that actor, and in my next life, I want a better-looking doppelganger. Now I really got to get focused and do this. This one's kind of a tough one, so I'm going to have to stop talking and think about what I'm doing here. In just a few moments, if you have not yet had the pleasure, my friend Bob Da Vinci is going to come out here and do a really fun show. Enjoy the rest of your day, people.